Joining us right now is Ben Goldberger. He is assistant managing editor at Time. And Ben, thanks for being here.
Good to be with you.
So why, I think I know the reason why, but why was this the cover?
Because this is one of the most rapid and important cultural shifts we've seen, certainly in my lifetime, perhaps in many, many generations. This is something that has existed for years, even centuries, but for way too long, it was tacitly tolerated. And what's happened in the span of a year is that it has gone from something that was whispered about to something that is now yelled over megaphones, and the consequences have been fast, furious, and long overdue.
I mean, Joe brought up the point, we'd been talking about this a few weeks ago, who you might consider for this, and he brought up the point that maybe it would be the sexual harasser, Harvey Weinstein, or some sort of a composite of that. How'd you get to the positive side of that story?
For a host of reasons, but one of which is that though the women who spoke out against Weinstein are incredibly important, and in fact, we did some of our own polling that found that the majority of Americans believe that it's now much easier for women to come forward following the Weinstein allegations, but it really is just one component of this. This is a much larger story, one that even in the course of this year began long before Weinstein in October.
What was the tipping point from Time Magazine's perspective? Because obviously the Me Too movement, for instance, started back in 2006, and I think not many people are even aware that it existed back then, and somehow this year something happened along the way. It wasn't just Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes. It wasn't just Weinstein. What happened? It's
a great point. And in fact, Tarana Burke, who was the activist who first came up with Me Too in 2006, says she was shocked. We talked to her for the story. She never thought that anyone would take this up. And Alyssa Milano, the actor who popularized it, didn't even know it existed when she first tweeted it out. It's a number of factors, and people we spoke to cited a host of reasons, certainly one of which is the election of Donald Trump, given the accusations against him and the Access Hollywood tape. But it isn't just that, nor is this inherently political. This touches a whole host of industries, experiences. The kindling had been there. It just took the match to light the spark.
You just mentioned President Trump.
Yeah, I was thinking about the reevaluation of the Clinton years, too.
Very much, yeah.
And that was a weird time where the victims just openly discredited bimbos, trailer trash, and completely, and you got Trump on one side. We almost elected someone on the other side that was fully involved with discrediting and enabling the person.
Absolutely.
And that's all in a new light. And now it's 20 years too late. But even the left is starting to say, wow, maybe we should have.
And that's one of the most important things about what's happening now. One of the reasons that it really is a larger cultural reckoning is that many of the people, including some of the most outspoken and eloquent feminists who sort of instinctively backed Clinton when the allegations first surfaced, are now realizing, wait a second, should we understand that in a new light?
Yeah, you mentioned Donald Trump. He is the runner-up. The second place goes to President Donald Trump. Obviously, there was so much news about him tweeting out saying you all had contacted him and said he was going to be Person of the Year. He declined because he didn't want to do the interview, the sit-down. What happened?
So I'll say very plainly, as we said right after his tweet was incorrect. We did contact the president and requested an interview and a photo shoot, which is something that we do with numerous candidates for Person of the Year.
So what did he say?
In no way.
Did he say no?
In no way did we in any way set any conditions on that interview or imply that he would be Person of the Year in any way,
but he said,
nor is an interview or photo shoot a requirement to be Person of the Year. And in recent years, in fact, we named both Angela Merkel and the Pope as Person of the Year without that.
Did you have President Xi?
We did not request an interview with President Xi, although I encourage everyone to read Carl Vick and Charlie Campbell's piece. It is really smart about the reasons for his rise. And in fact, I think you can't discuss Xi without Trump, because in many ways he's seizing a global
I
think you can make a really strong case.
If it wasn't Time America, it would have been.
You can make a really strong case for almost everyone on our list.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.